Let's start just in a comfortable cross-legged seat for a minute. Comfortable cross-legged seat, palms facing down on the knees, eyes are closed. And just start some nice diaphragmatic breathing. So just expanding through the rib cage. And as you're doing that, finding some equal parts breathing. So whether you start with a 4 count, 6 count, 8 count in, then pause and hold for that same amount, and then exhale for that same amount, and then pause and hold at the bottom of the exhale. And as you're doing that, just kind of play witness to what's going on in the body. And if you're feeling any ill sensations, just visualize the breath moving into those areas, almost like a bullseye. And think of like this beautiful golden ray of light going right into the center of the bullseye and expanding it until it just almost like it pops and releases. Beautiful. Let's take about 3 or 4 more breaths and set an intention. So breathe the intention into your physical body and then breathe it out as if it's just that vibration of that intention is moving out into the world. Perfect. And then let's just start some circles with the torso. And now do the same thing, just noticing if you're feeling any sensations. As I was sitting there, I was feeling really peaceful. Everything in my body felt aligned and pretty good. And now as I'm moving, I'm feeling this tightness in my low lumbar spine. And so do the same thing. Just send that ray of golden light to whatever area. If you're noticing any differences, maybe it's your hips, inner thighs, neck, shoulders. Breathing into that space, holding. And then releasing as you're cycling belly down towards the thighs. And eyes are still remaining closed because I think you get a better internal view of your body. And then one more time in that direction and then cycle around the other way. And again, just notice, do things feel better or worse as you're rotating? Are they balanced and the same? If you were to go deeper and look at what the root of the sensation is, where it lies, maybe it's not in that specific area where you're hitting a trigger. Maybe follow it up the spine or down into the hips, the legs, the knees. A couple more times in that direction. Good, and then stacking the spine again. We're just going to rotate with our breath. So remember I was talking about nerve flossing in the past few classes. We'll be doing the same thing here, only with the spine, just doing rotation and back to neutral, and rotation back to neutral. So inhale and stack the spine as long as you can. And what I always like to think about is separating my low ribs from my hips, so I'm creating space for the lumbar thoracic spine to kind of lengthen. So take a deep inhale, getting as tall as you can, and on the exhale, very slow exhale, bring the body or rotate to the right. So left hand to the right knee, and just get a really deep full exhale here. Pause and hold at the bottom of the exhale. And then slowly sip the air in as you rotate back to center. Pause and hold at the top of the inhale. And when you're ready for the exhale, rotating to the left. Right hand comes to the left knee. Left hand goes to the back of the spine. It's rooted down onto the mat. And pausing at the bottom of the exhale, and when you're ready for the inhale, coming back to center. Pausing at the top of the inhale. And then exhale as you rotate to the right. So you get the idea. And we'll just do that about 3 or 4 more times. Each time you come back to center, think of the spine like I'm holding a string of pearls vertically, and you're aligning your vertebrae in the same manner. Just getting length in between each vertebrae. Good. And then completing back in the center again. Deep breath in, lengthen, and exhale. Let's get some side body bends now. Leaning over to the right. Doing the same type of breath. We're inhaling to the center. Pause at the top of the inhale. Getting all that length again, and then exhale to the left when you're ready. Pausing at the bottom of the exhale. One more time to each side. And then we're going to combine the 2 movements. So inhaling as you come back to the center, and then exhale, twist. And then inhaling as you are back to the center. And then exhale, same side, side body bend. And then inhaling back up. Gentle twist. And inhaling center. Exhale, side body bend to the same side. One more time on your own. This is really nice on the digestive tract as well. Moving into these little compressions when you're doing the side body bend and the little twists. Good. And just take a minute, bringing back up to the center, and then we'll come into Tabletop Pose. And I'd love to do just little barrel rolls with the hips. So hands may be a little more forward. And so you're straightening the legs and then pulling back into almost like a puppy pose. I'm getting lots of creaks. So So go in one direction and then reverse. Good. A couple more times. And then coming into tabletop pose. We'll thread the needle, but we're going to do the same type of thing where your right hand stays grounded, left hand's going to reach high to the sky, deep breath in, and then exhale, but you're not going to let it rest. You'll just sweep through and then lift up again. So now you may notice you want to pick up the pace with your breath a little bit more, or maybe you want to keep it really slow and steady. You decide, but right now to me it feels like I need to get a really good exhale. So I'm going to inhale and then good. So do it about 3 or 4 more times and then settle into threading the needle. And exploring threading the needle, whether you are extending the leg, extending the upper arm. Couple more breaths just as you are. Good, and then release. Extending the arm nice and high, and then reground. Switching sides, left hand will ground, right hand will reach high, full breath in. And then exhale, again, find your rhythm. I'm gonna go a little bit faster because I just feel like I need to get rid of stuff. But maybe slow and steady is what you need. And do about 3 or 4 more times until you settle yourself in. And same thing here. Whatever you did on the other side, kind of express it this way. So I extend my leg and my upper arm. But that is not a have to by any means. Good, 2 more breaths. And then find your release. Coming back into tabletop pose, I'd like to step out into either a modified plank or a full plank and just warm up the core, both the abdominals and the spinal muscles. So make sure that there's a little micro bend in the elbows so you're not just locking out the elbows and relying just on the structure, but you're relying on the muscular setup, your biceps, triceps to hug the arms. So you choose what feels good to you right now in this moment. And for plank pose, sometimes it feels better to walk the feet out a little bit wider than hip distance. And we're just going to hold for 20 seconds here. So if you like to rock forward and back a little bit, maybe you want to tap the feet out. Maybe you just want to pause and close the eyes and recognize what muscles are firing right now and supporting you. 10 more seconds. Two and 1. All right, let's come back onto our spines. We're going to do that same warm-up that we did last week. for the abdominal muscles, because I think that really helped. If we're going to be working on our spine today with twists, I think that's really nice and helpful. So extending left leg, hovering, reaching out through like a Barbie doll foot through the ball of the foot, and a 90 on the right leg. Lifting head, neck, and shoulders, and we're going to push into the thigh while we're pulling the thigh towards the hands and holding here 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees come into the chest, torso lays down. Take a full inhale. And on the exhale, extend the right leg long, hovering above the mat, lifting head, neck, and shoulders. Knees to a 90, and I'm going to press hands into knee. Holding here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Knees come together on 1, lower down, deep breath in. Exhale, extend left leg long, lifting head, neck, and shoulders. Pressing knee into hands, hands into knee, holding 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Knees come together, lower down on 1. Deep breath in. Other side, extend the leg, lifting head, neck, and shoulders. Hands into knee, knee into hands. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Knees together, lower down on 1. One more time on each side. Now play witness to what's firing, right? If your neck is feeling really fatigued, kick in those abdominal muscles. Extend left leg long, lifting. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower down on 1. Full breath in. Last time. Extend the right leg. Lift. Pressing hands into thigh, thigh into hands. 10, 9, 8. Can you lift a little higher? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower down, knees come into the chest. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Bringing knees to a 90 and then just tapping toes down to the mat. Just switching feet, opposite feet. Good. Let the neck get nice and long, tucking the chin. Good. Just tapping 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees into the chest again. Let's rock and roll 3 times along the length of the spine. Good. All the way to seat, ground the hands, stepping back. High plank again, deep breath in. Shift the weight forward, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Get a nice good stretch in your up dog. Could be cobra pose if that feels better to you. Let the heart just kind of shine forward, and you're getting a really nice lift and as much lengthening as you can. Abdominals are pulled in firm. So think of, again, lengthening the space between the belly button and the pubic bone. And then when you're ready, lifting up into downward facing dog. Ooh, that down dog feels good. If you want to stretch things out a little bit, coming onto inside, outside arches of the feet, bending the knees, bringing belly down towards the thighs. And then swiveling back to center, inside, outside arches of the feet. Belly comes down to the thighs. Good, and then find your traditional downward facing dog. Pointer finger facing the top of the mat, fingers spread out evenly from there. Think again of pulling the L of the hand together. Pointer finger and thumb of each hand, pulling them together. And that just does a beautiful firing of the lats and the triceps, biceps. kind of hollowing out the armpits. So it's really similar to what we did with the knees, kind of finding that resistance in order to fire the appropriate muscles to stabilize the shoulder girdle. All right, let's inhale, right leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Circle it around for a moment. Square it off, extend it and just hold. Bring your knee to nose. Good, bring it high again. Right knee, right tricep. Bringing it high again. Right knee, left tricep. Bringing it high again. Finding low lunge. Good, don't drop down to the bottom knee. Just come to fists, so palms are facing each other. Fists are in neutral now, or wrists are in neutral. And lift and lower. Good, on the inhale, lift. And the exhale, lower back into your lunge. And inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Find your rhythm. And do the same thing that we did in the very beginning. As you're lifting and lowering, maybe close the eyes and just listen to how the hips feel, hamstrings, calf, on the back leg. Lift and lower one more time. Good, and now lower down, back knee to the mat, left hand will stay grounded. Inhale, center. Exhale, start with your twist. Think of the belly coming through towards the thigh. Right hip is gently easing back. Staying as you are or grabbing onto the back foot. 3 breaths here. Good, and then releasing foot back down to the mat. Front foot meets the back. You are in plank pose, whether on toes or knees. Shift the weight forward. Slowly lower. Let's count 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Pause and hover. Open to your up dog or cobra. Ease into your downward facing dog. Nice. Pause in stillness and downward facing dog. Bend the knees as much as you need to so the spine can get long and straight. And when you're ready, left leg will lift high. Bend the knee, open the hip, circle it around as you'd like. Slowly square it off, pause and hold. Good, take an inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring it high. Left knee, left tricep. Good, bring it high. Left knee, right tricep. Bring it high. Low lunge. Coming up onto fists, give your wrists a little bit of a break, so palms facing each other. Inhale, let's lift. And exhale, ease down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Good, close the eyes and again just notice how things are feeling. One more lift and then lower back down onto the back knee. Take an inhale, center, get as much length as you can to the spine, and then bring belly towards the thigh. Just notice how it feels. What kind of feedback are you getting in the spine, the hips, the inner thighs, hamstrings? And again, staying as you are, bringing foot to hand. Good, and then release, coming back to center. Grounding hands, front foot meets the back. Shift the weight forward, again squeezing elbows in, lowering. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and hold. Open up. Deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Life is good. Life is good when you do yoga. All right, let's roll up onto 10 toes, bend the knees, belly to thighs, pause, and just hold the pose. So deep stretch through the arches of the feet. So good. And in your own time, walking top of the mat. Feet are hip distance or wider. Get a nice halfway lift. Bend the knees, connect belly to thighs as you fold into ragdoll pose. Right, and you can straighten the legs to your ability as long as thigh or belly is connected to the thighs. And just let the head hang heavy. Sometimes it doesn't feel good to go into the full fold, so feel free to just bring forearms onto the thighs and have a nice straight back from tailbone to the crown of the head. Right, that's another way to experience this. Do what works. Maybe you want to take a little chest expansion. Good, and let hands just rest, releasing down to the earth. Good, now toe heel the feet to the outside edges of the mat. Toes are pointing out, sinking down into a little Yogi Squat. Opening up inner thighs. We're just kind of doing everything, feels into everything right now. I actually like to press my forearms into my inner thighs in this Yogi Squat. And then I get a really nice straight back and my heart space, my chest is nice and open. Versus sinking the sitting bones to the mat and bringing palms to touch. I feel like my heart space, my chest opens wider. I get a deeper stretch that feels good to me. Perfect. So let's go from this low Yogi Squat to a high squat. Right, knees are going to track out towards the pinky toes. Just a little pulsing here. Let's get the glutes all fired up as well and prepared to support the rest of our body. So just little pulsing, belly's pulled in. Hips are pulling way back. Maybe extend the arms long. Out in front of you to counter that weight as hips are continuing to pull back. Let's pulse 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Bringing hands together, reaching up and overhead, toe heel the feet hip distance. Take those nice cactus arms, open up the chest. And then bringing palms in, Samasthiti. Equal standing pose. Full breath in. Release it out. All right, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, baby back bend. Bringing palms back into prayer. Moving into your forward fold, knees are bent. Be really fluid with it. Open halfway lift. Ground the hands, step back, whether toes or knees, shift the weight forward. Lowering 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Open upward facing dog or cobra. Release into downward facing dog. Long breath in. Even breath out. Rolling up on 10 toes, bend the knees, belly to thighs. Right foot to the outside edge of the mat. Left foot to the outside edge of the mat. Yogi Squat. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more breath. Shoulders release from the ears. Slowly lift to a high squat. Fingertips reach forward. Hips reach way, way back. Little pulsing 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Hands to the heart. Inhale, rise. Toe heel feet hip distance. Open up that baby back bend. Hands come back into prayer position. Inhale, back up again. Full breath in. Cactus arms, chest opens. Hands come to heart center, bend the knees, move into your forward fold. Just become very fluid, let the crown of the head follow. Open halfway lift, long spine. Ground the hands, stepping back. Toes or knees. Shift the weight forward, pin the elbows in, lower 4, 3, 2, 1. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Long breath in. Even breath out. Rolling on 10 toes, bend the knees, belly to thighs. Left foot to the outside of the mat. Right foot to the outside of the mat. Sink down, Yogi Squat. Long breath in. Even breath out. One more. Now lift up to high squat. Fingertips reach forward. Sitting bones pull back. Let's pulse it. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Hands come into prayer. Come to rise. Toe heel the feet. Hip distance. Arms reach up and overhead. Open baby back bend. Palms come back into prayer position. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Baby back bend. Hands come in prayer, knees bend. Slowly, slowly lower crown of the head down towards the mat. Open halfway lift. Plant the hands. Shift the weight. Pin the elbows. 4, 3, 2, 1. Open up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. It's a beautiful thing. Good. Inhale, right leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Take a minute, pause, and square the hips off. Knee comes to nose. Bring it high. Right knee, right tricep. Bring it high. Right knee, left tricep. Bring it high. Low lunge. Take your time. Stabilize in that low lunge. Shift it up to full crescent lunge. Good, so think of right hip drawing back, left hip pulling forward. Back of the knee to the sky, back heel to the back wall. Now zip everything up into the pelvis. Arms extend high. Full breath in. On the exhale, take a little twist. Right arm back, left arm forward. Find the stability again. Think of the belly coming through, shoulders gaze. We're creating space. And now we're going to challenge our balance and strength a little bit by slowly tapping left hand to the outside of the right pinky toe. And then lifting back up. And then lowering down. Fire those glutes. And then lifting up. Good. Just find your own rhythm here. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Let's do 3 more. Good. 2 more. I'm getting warm. 1 more. Bring the arms back to center. Straighten the legs. Open up. Warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, find extended side angle. Take a deep breath in. Get the feet adjusted so you feel nice and stable here. Forearm is not resting on the thigh. It's either in front or elbow is just bent, but I'm not putting weight into it. So we're going to do a similar thing here where we're slowly going to rotate and belly's going to come down towards the thigh. I'm going to reach the left hand forward, getting really nice and long through the side body and the left side, and then opening it back up. Extended side angle. Again, no weight on that right hand. Slowly rotate on the exhale. Left hand reaches forward to the top of the mat. Go ahead and lift up and open. Let's do 2 more. Lift up and open. 1 more. Fingertip comes down to the mat if you can, or to a block, and move into full revolved extended side angle. Belly comes through, shoulders gaze. If it doesn't feel good on the back knee, come under the ball of the back foot. Hold here, 3 and 2. Good. Slowly come into extended side angle, all the way up into star. Take a breath in star. And then sink down into goddess. Beautiful. How do you feel? Externally rotate the thighs, sitting bones back and down towards the mat, reaching arms up and overhead. Hands come right behind the head. Good. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, we're just going to lower elbow towards the knee. It doesn't have to touch the knee. Back to center. And lower down to the left. And back to center. And lower down. And back to center. And lower down. Good. Let's do 4 more of those. And 3. And 2. And 1. Breathing in. And breathing out, straighten the legs, bringing the feet parallel or even pigeon-toed. Hands come right to the hip flexors. Inhale, lift up high, and then exhale, take a little fold. Fingertips reach down to the mat center. Good. Get as long as you can from the sitting bones out through the crown of the head. So I'm gazing right down at the mat. Left hand will stay grounded center, maybe use a block. And think of belly coming through, shoulders and gaze. Right hand reaches to the sky. Now, if you have a little more of a twist in you, you can slowly reach left hand over to the right foot. Right hand to the sky. Good. Coming back to center. And then just switch. Right hand center or right hand to left foot. Belly comes through, shoulders gaze. Lifting fingertips to the sky. Good. Coming back to center again. Slowly walk to low lunge to the top of the mat. We're in low lunge, so walking fingertips in front of the foot. Launching off and extending left leg parallel to the mat. So not standing splits, but parallel to the mat. Good. Foot is flexed, so you're really reaching out through the heel, so hips are nice and firm. Left hand will stay grounded to the mat or maybe to a block. Right hand's going to reach out towards the right side. I was going to give you a location in your room, but I'm not in your room. So I'm reaching out towards my windows. Right hand's going to reach out. It's parallel right now to the mat. And I'm slowly going to bring my belly through. And then find that rotation, find that twist. Revolved half moon. Not easy. Hold and breathe. 3. And 2. Coming back to center on 1. Get a bend in the knee. And then step it back into pyramid legs. Inhale, walk the hands up a little bit, reverse the blood flow for a second. Hands come to the hips, hip flexors, and then fold right back down. Pyramid pose to whatever level feels the best. Maybe you want to keep torso parallel with the mat, using block if you'd like. Keep shifting right hip back, left hip forward. And then when you're ready, surrender as much as you need to or like to. Beautiful. Come to a halfway lift. Revolved triangle from here. So left hand grounds to the inside arch. Or you could challenge yourself and bring it out towards the pinky toe. Maybe widen the stance. Left hip's going to pull back, right hip's going to pull forward. So you're scissoring the legs to help you move into revolved triangle. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath. Come back to center. Get a bend in the right knee. Ground the hands. Step back, low lunge. Front foot meets the back. Shifting the weight forward. Let's lower. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Up dog or cobra. Beautiful downward facing dog. Get a beautiful open mouth exhale, nice deep sigh. Release any additional heat, any additional congestion, emotions, whatever comes up. And we get to do the other side. So left leg lifts high and bend the knee, open the hip. Good, square it off. Knee comes to nose. Bring it nice and high again. Left knee, left tricep. Bring it nice and high. Left knee, right tricep. Nice and high again. Low lunge, stabilize yourself. Think of the feet grounding evenly. If you need a little more stability, widen the stance maybe a little bit. Think of all that energy moving into the hips. The glutes are firming. We're lifting nice and tall, fingertips to the sky. Heel to the back wall. Back of the knee as best you can, reaching up to the sky. Good. Take an inhale, center. And exhale, think of rotating from the belly first. Into that twist. Belly comes through, shoulders and gaze. Find your stability again as best as you can. Inhale and then exhale, just tapping right fingers to the outside of the left pinky toe. Good, and then rising. Find your own rhythm here, right? Move as slowly as you need to try to maintain that groundedness. Three more. Beautiful, 2 more. One more. We've got it. Good. Lifting back to center, straightening the front leg, give it a break. Opening up to warrior 2. And I'm just going to switch sides. So I'm facing you again. Beautiful. Shoulders relax and release. Reaching out through fingertips. Adjust the feet as needed because you know what we're doing. Right? So make sure they're nice and stable. Inhale, let's reverse our warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. So a hand or forearm comes to the inner thigh. Or you can find that 90-degree bend. Just don't put weight on it. And rest into that thigh. All right, inhale. Lengthen and exhale, squaring the hips off. Just reach the right arm as far as you can forward so you're feeling that really beautiful stretch all the way down to the lumbar. And then inhale, open it back up. And then exhale, square it off, reach, reach, reach forward. Bicep by the ear. Inhale, reach it high. Exhale. You may need to turn the back foot in a little bit more towards the upper corner of the mat. One more time, reach it high. And then exhale, let's go into full revolved extended side angle. So whether the right forearm comes to the left thigh and left hand reaches out, or fingertips come down to the mat, think of the belly coming through and rotate. So be mindful again on that back knee. If the back knee doesn't feel good, come onto the ball of the back foot instead of a grounded back foot. And make sure that that front knee is still tracking out towards the pinky toe, that it's not caving in on you. Hold and breathe, 3 and 2. Extended side angle on 1. Woo, all the way up into star. Take a breath. Okay, and then sink down into goddess. Knees track out towards the pinky toe. Tracking out, tracking out. Let's do a little additional thing. So externally rotate the thighs. And then think of the glutes firing right here. And I'm going to track my knees back and squeeze. Release. Squeeze. Release. Squeeze. Release. Squeeze and hold now. Good, release. Squeeze. Squeeze. Squeeze and hold. Squeeze, squeeze, Squeeze and hold. 2 more times. Squeeze, squeeze. Press it back and hold. 1 more. Press it back, press it back, press it back and hold. Can you go a little bit deeper? And then come to rise. Bring the feet parallel or even pigeon-toed. Inhale and exhale. Take a nice fold down into prasarita to get length through the spine. And do whatever feels really good to you this time. Maybe you want to take a chest expansion. Maybe you want to take the little twist. For me, I'm going to do just a side lunge to each side and take about 3 or 4 more breaths on each side. So if you're side lunging, it could be a Janushirshasana too, if that feels better. Right? But making sure that that extended leg, knee and toes are reaching up towards the sky, that you're not caving in on it. Good, and if you're doing the side lunge, shifting to the other side. If you're doing a twist, shift to the other side. Perfect. Now let's slowly come to low lunge to the top of the mat. Walking fingertips forward in front of the toes, launching off. Leg is lifted parallel to the mat. Right toes are flexed, reaching out through the heel. Left hand will stay grounded on the mat or on a block. Or excuse me, right hand's grounded. Left hand's going to reach out to the side parallel to the mat. Staying as you are or slowly begin to rotate belly towards the left thigh. Revolved half moon. Good, 3 breaths. We can do this. 2 breaths. And 1. Bring it back to the center, bend the standing leg. Step back into pyramid feet. So heel to heel alignment. I'm going to walk my hands up. Reverse the blood flow for a moment. Hands come to the hip flexors, left hip's going to pull back right forward, so you may need to turn the back foot in a little bit more towards the top of the mat. Lifting up and over the hip flexors. You may want to stay with torso parallel, you may want to bring fingertips to the mat. Continue to ease the left hip back, like you're scissoring the legs together. And then surrender into it however you'd like. One more breath. And gently come to a halfway lift. Right hand plants, setting up for revolved triangles. So whether the right hand plants to a block on the inside arch, challenging your balance would be towards the pinky toe. Think of the belly slowly coming through. Rotate, rotate, belly. Heart center comes through, shoulders, gaze. Fingertips reach up to the sky. Think of scissoring those legs. Left hip back, right hip forward. It's going to help you rotate. Hold and breathe here. 4. And 3. And 2. Center on 1. Bend in the knees, step back, low lunge. Grab the hands, front foot meets the back. Inhale, shift forward, pin the elbows in, lowering 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Opening up. Upward facing dog. Exhaling. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Even breath out. Good, coming down onto knees. let's cross our legs, and we're going to do a little of Marichyasana and a little hip opener at the same time. So start by extending legs long in front of you. And we'll start with the twist and then we'll go into the hip opener. And then crossing, or actually just bringing the right foot to the inside arch. If you can go further, crossing it over. Further yet would be bending the left leg as well, but you want to make sure that sitting bones are grounded evenly. All right, so take a long, even breath in, sitting up tall, and on the exhale, just hug the thigh. Think of the belly pulling through again, the shoulders and the gaze. If you feel like you could go a little bit deeper, then elbow comes to the outside of the thigh. And if you feel as if you want to explore the bind, the left hand comes under the right knee and right arm wraps around and clasp hands. Good, and then gentle release to the center and a nice little counter twist. And back to the center again. So if both legs are bent, you're set up really nicely to just move right into cow face, so just squeezing the inner thighs together a little bit more. If that is too deep for you, option would be to just cross right in front of left, easy seat. You could do double pigeon, stacking shin over shin. What I'm really fond of now though is it's a variation of fire log, stacking shin over shin, and easy seat. So I'm stacking shin in front of shin, but my feet are out further than my knees. So take a really deep breath in and then exhale. I just start by grounding fingertips and see how that feels. See how it feels on my hips and my knees. Do I remain grounded evenly through both sitting bones? And then find your way. Maybe you want to go a little bit deeper. I really like this because my forearms kind of ease me into the stretch a little bit more without going too deep. So close the eyes, and another good use of your block would be to just rest forehead on the block. Or if you can make it all the way down, you could stack hands and rest forehead on stacked hands. Good, a couple more breaths. And then gently easing out of it. Extending the legs long, give them a nice good shake. Sitting up nice and tall, toes are going to flex back towards the nose, knees could be bent as much as you need to. Inhale, lift up onto the sitting bones, roll over the sitting bones and find the fold. So I want to be able to connect my belly to my thighs, right? Safest way to do this. And then just let my torso surrender the rest. And you can just inch the knees out to your ability, or maybe put a bolster or block, rolled up blanket under the knees. That helps too. Nice and gentle release. Life is good. All right. Other side. Let's shake it out first. And then we'll do the other side, Marichyasana. So whether left foot is to the inside, arch, crossed over the thigh, or both knees are bent. Again, making sure that both your sitting bones, if you're going to take it with both knees bent, that both sitting bones are rooted down evenly. Lifting up tall, take an inhale, and on the exhale, hug the thigh, and then think of the belly drawing through and the shoulders and the gaze, and then the back hand just gently lands right at the tip of the tailbone. So same thing here. Maybe you want to go a little more into sensation, being mindful, again, of the spine. If you want to go deeper, that elbow would come to the outside of the thigh. And if you want to take the bind, my right hand's going to cross under my left leg, and then grabbing onto hands, clasping hands. And then little counter twist. Inhaling to the center and then exhale. And back to the center again, now for our hip openers. So again, if you are in both knees bent in Marichyasana, easy to come into cow face just by crossing inner thighs, knee over knee. If that doesn't feel right to you, uncross. And you can do easy seat, one stacked in front of the other. Or, I like my variation of cow face quite a bit. I just feel like it hits everything for me. So I'm just taking my easy seat narrower. So thighs are coming a little closer, feet are coming a little further away. Sitting up tall, checking in with sitting bones first. We're going to lift up and over the sitting bones and slowly come into our fold. Start with fingertips. Does that feel okay on everything? Especially the knees. Listen to the knees if you are in cow face, or if you are in fire log, or if you're in this variation of easy seat. And if it still feels good, then feel free to take it a little bit deeper, listening and breathing. If you can't breathe in the pose, back out. And taking about 4 more breaths on this side. Just loving into your hips right now. And then easing out in your own timing. Full breath in when you come up to the top, and let's take one more forward fold. So extending legs long, maybe give them a good shake. Knees bent as much as you need to. Lifting up, rolling right over the sitting bones, and then come into your fold. Sometimes people ask where the sitting bones are, and directly out. Right below all of that muscle is the sitting bones, and they're the little bony pieces that you can feel when you are seated. Alright, let's release from our forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Ground the hands, lift the hips high, reverse your plank. And lower down and make your way slowly all the way down onto the mat. Just keeping eyes nicely closed. Let's bring the knees into the chest when you get there. A little rock from side to side. Massage everything out through the spine. Let's take a little supine twist from here. So either both knees, you're holding on to both, or let the left knee go straight, let the left leg go long. Breathing in, and on the exhale, either both knees or right knee crosses over to the left side. Right arm comes out as a T. Good, shifting back to center, hugging the right knee into the chest again, give it a little squeeze. And then switch sides, holding onto left knee. Take a full inhale, and on the exhale, a little gentle supine twist to the other side. Good, and gentle release. Both knees come into the chest. Options for Shavasana. We didn't do bridge pose today, so maybe you want to do a nice restorative bridge for your Shavasana. Just resting a block under the low lumbar. Knees can be bent or straight. Maybe you want to bring your feet to the sky with a block or a bolster under a rolled up blanket. Or take your traditional Shavasana, but let's just wrap up into that little cosmic ball, pressing shins into forearms. Take a full inhale, and then exhale, easing into your variation of your Shavasana. Let's slowly begin to lengthen out our breath. Maybe taking a full body stretch from fingertips to toes. Maybe just brushing thumbs over fingertips, wiggling toes. Moving into a beautiful space of gratitude. Remembering that your body is this beautiful, perfect, miraculous instrument of light, rolling onto your side when you feel ready. Good, and then slowly easing up into a comfortable cross-legged seat. Eyes just remain closed. Hands come in prayer position to your beautiful heart center. Moving back into your intention in the beginning of class. Bringing that intention into the third eye center. May you have peace in your thoughts. Prayer hands come to your lips. May you have peace in your words. Prayer hands back to your heart. Peace in your heart and your actions. Bowing forward to seal in our practice. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me today.